Hi everyone, for tonight's Nightcap and Review, I'm having a soda, and tonight I'll be discussing A Philosophy of Thieves by Fran Wilde. This is a book I received as an ARC from NetGalley, and of course I'm giving my honest opinion. These are the highlights. And there are no content warnings listed for this book, and my rating's a little weird. It's kind of a 3.75 for the story and a 4 for the concept. I'll definitely get into that more later on, but first, what's this book about? So this book is about the Cavaliers, an elite group of performance thieves in New Washington that dazzle wealthy audiences with acrobats, misdirection, and daring escapes for the rich elite who hire them. For King Cavalier, his heists are used to tease their hosts with the gaps in their security that they use to keep themselves separate from the rest of society. But for his children, who grew up under his tutelage, Rosa and Dax, they now struggle with their identity as well as a growing rivalry between the two of them. For Rosa, she attends a finishing school in hopes that when she graduates, she will gain a respectable job with less risk, while her brother Dax is now trying to take on more risks to prove his worth and readiness to his father, who objects to the risk, also that he can take over for the group. But then their father ends up getting arrested, and these two will have to put their differences aside to take on the biggest heist of their careers so they can pay for their father's release before he is shipped off to places where they will never see him again. But their heist will have them going up against their host, who is a technocrat with everything on the line, as well as those within this high secretive society with their own agenda. But thankfully, they are artists who work best under pressure. So what are my thoughts? Again, my rating for this book is a little weird, with the concept being 4 stars, but the writing and story being a 3.75. Now, something I think the author does really well is to highlight the class divides in this book with the haves and the have-nots, with what the rich elite do for entertainment and how out of touch they are compared to the rest of the society that is just trying to survive and is drowning under all these fees, subscriptions, and taxations. And what happens with these rich elites is they host these elaborate parties where they hire thieves to rob them and their guests. And their mentality is, oh, I'm rich enough to hire people to rob me because I'm rich. That's fun. And at the end of these parties, if they don't catch the thieves, because it's kind of like catch the thief kind of party, they then have to buy back what was stolen from themselves as well as their guests at a markup. Like, oh, you're not rich enough to buy back everything that was stolen from you at a markup? Oh, you're poor. And in this society, it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't, because if you don't host these parties to showcase your wealth and how you can just throw it away, people side eye you. But if you do host these parties, a lot of people go into debt hosting them, and they can't buy back everything, and they essentially get kicked out of the society, and people ignore them because, oh, well, they weren't wealthy enough to be here. So it was very much a damned if you do and damned if you don't. And other forms of entertainment that they have that showcases how out of touch they are is that they hire and have these other parties where they go garbage hunting to look for things that were lost in what they term the mess. But for other people who can't pay to have these parties, who are doing it as a survival mechanism, if they get caught, they're surely going to be arrested and sent off to places if their families can't pay for their release and to never be seen from again. Now, where this book falls flat for me is that the author, I think, is relying too much on the popularity of this genre and how there is a bit of overlap between post-apocalyptic dystopian books with the breakdown of societies and environmental disasters. And because of that, we are plopped into this world with no world building, and we're off to the races with the story. We get no information about what they reference as the mess, with the breakdown of everything and how bad things got, and we don't know how the society came into being and the nuances of it. This carried throughout the book when we would be introduced to these really cool, interesting facts, kind of sci-fi elements of the book, and that's really what kept me going, is I found those really interesting, but they would be conveyed in a way where you as the reader should automatically know what this is. And then a couple chapters later, if we're lucky, the author will kind of be like, oh yeah, I should probably describe what this actually is, and we would get a base description. Nothing really in depth to where I was fully understood this. And for me, while I'm not looking to be spoon-fed this information, I am looking to understand the world the author is creating so that I can focus on the story and the message they are trying to convey. Overall, the concept was interesting. The writing was not for me. Now, this book is a start of a series, it looks like. I do not know if I will continue series, but this book will be available September 30th, so definitely check it out if it sounds like something you're interested in. Like I said, it was a really cool concept, and I hope everyone has a good night and happy readings.